The words hit like a slap in the face, echoing through the bustling backyard filled with laughter and the scent of grilled lobster rolls. Your kids don't belong here, Charlotte. This is my daughter's birthday, and they're just not like the rest of us. My sister's voice, crisp and unapologetic, sliced through the string quartet's rendition of Happy Birthday as she pulled me aside beside the white peony arch. What she didn't know yet was that every crystal champagne flute, every custom macaron tower, every pony with the hand-braided mane, I had paid for it all. Charlotte Whitmore Harrington stood rooted to the imported Italian tile of the terrace, pulse hammering beneath the pearl choker that had once belonged to our grandmother. At 39, she had believed money and manners could insulate anyone from cruelty, especially within the manicured gates of Lake Forest, Illinois. She had adopted her twins, Langston and Amaya, 6 years earlier after a string of devastating miscarriages that nearly ended her marriage to Grayson, the soft-spoken Harvard-trained architect from Greenwich. Her sister Victoria, always Tory to the social register, had married even better, a private equity heir named Preston, a Shoreland Drive address, and a daughter, Arabella, turning 9 today in a couture smocked dress. "I beg your pardon?" Charlotte's voice was low, dangerous, the same tone she used in boardrooms when someone underestimated her. Tori lifted one perfectly threaded brow. "Darling, let's be adults. Arabella's guests are all from Country Day, old families. Your circumstances attract attention. I won't have whispers on her birthday." Charlotte's gaze drifted to Langston and Amaya chasing each other across the emerald lawn in miniature Ralph Lauren, their dark curls gleaming under the July sun. They were laughing, carefree, utterly at home among the hydrangeas and heirloom silver. She remembered the anonymous wire transfer she'd sent 8 weeks ago, $10,000 routed through her trust attorney after Tori's frantic late-night text. "Press lost another carry deal. We may have to scale the party way back. Mortifying." Charlotte had never replied to the text. Instead, she'd paid for the Belgians' ponies, the floral chandelier suspended above the dessert table, the calligraphied place cards, everything without a single word of credit. The afternoon unfolded like a glossy magazine spread. Children in seersucker and linen, mothers in Lily Pulitzer sipping rosé, the faint clink of croquet mallets on the side lawn. Charlotte smiled the smile that had closed multi-million-dollar deals, but inside she was molten. She caught fragments of conversation. Who are those adorable children? Adopted, I think, from the city. Each syllable a needle. Grayson texted from Singapore, where he was overseeing a museum project. "Tell the twins Uncle Gray misses them." She typed back a heart emoji, and nothing else. When Tori finally thanked the crowd for coming and credited a guardian angel for making the day possible, Charlotte's champagne flute trembled in her hand. That night, driving north along the lake in her midnight blue Range Rover, the children asleep in the back, Charlotte's mind burned white hot. Lake Forest faded into Kenilworth, then Winnetka, then the glowing skyline of Chicago itself. She thought of their childhood in Lake Bluff, of Tori always being the debutante, the one presented at the Passavant Cotillion while Charlotte was away at Andover. She thought of their father's will, how he'd left the family foundation to Tori to preserve the legacy, and how Charlotte had quietly rebuilt her own fortune anyway, real estate, clean energy, art, until her net worth quietly eclipsed her sister's by several orders of magnitude. The plan formed with the elegant precision of a hostile takeover. 2 weeks later, Tori accepted Charlotte's invitation to an intimate family reconciliation dinner at the Harrington penthouse on Lakeshore Drive. The dining room glittered, baccarat crystal, Hermes china, windows framing Navy Keir's Ferris wheels spinning like a jewel against the night sky. Their mother, Evelyn Whitmore Langford, arrived in Chanel and pearls, kissing both daughters with practiced neutrality. Preston followed with Tori and Arabella, the latter clutching a new Hermes Kelly bag Charlotte had sent as a belated birthday gift. Conversation over heirloom tomato salad and seared scallops was polite, Midwestern aristocratic. Charlotte waited until the Valrhona chocolate soufflés were served and the 1982 Chateau d'Yquem poured. Then she laid a cream vellum folder beside Tori's plate. "Darling," voice smooth as the silk wallpaper, "do you remember your guardian angel?" Tori's fork paused. "Of course, whoever it was saved Arabella's party." Charlotte opened the folder. Inside, the wire confirmation, the memo line reading simply, "For Arabella, with love, CWH." A second page, an email from Tori's own assistant thanking Mrs. Harrington's office for the expedited floral payments. The room temperature seemed to drop 10 degrees. "You?" Tori whispered, face blanching beneath her Charlotte Tilbury foundation. "I paid for every petal, every pony, every macaron," Charlotte said quietly, anonymously, because that's what family does. "And in return, you told me, my children, your niece and nephew didn't belong at the party I funded." Evelyn gasped. Preston stared at his Pappy Van Winkle as if it might offer guidance. Arabella looked between the adults, confused. Tori's voice cracked. "Char, I was overwhelmed." "You were cruel," Charlotte cut in, steel beneath the velvet. "You looked at two little boys in navy blazers and saw something lesser. So here's what happens next. I have a post drafted, screenshots, receipts, all of it, ready to go live on your precious North Shore Moms Facebook group at 9 tomorrow morning. Unless, Tori's hand shook, "unless you stand up right now in front of Mother, Preston, Arabella, and the children who are currently doing homework in the library and apologize, not to me, to Langston and Amaya, and mean it." Silence stretched like a wire. Tori rose, chair legs scraping the parquet floor. She walked to the library's double doors and opened them. Langston and Amaya looked up from their iPads, curious. Tori knelt, actually knelt, her silk dress pooling on the rug. "Langston, Amaya," she said, voice trembling, "Aunt Tori was very wrong. You are my family. You belong everywhere I am, always. I'm so sorry I hurt you." Amaya, ever the empath, ran to hug her. Langston held back a beat, then offered a solemn fist bump, the highest honor an 8-year-old boy can bestow. When Tori stood, mascara streaked, Charlotte closed the folder. "I won't post it," she said softly, "but don't you ever forget who paid for your perfect day, Victoria, or who your family really is." Later, after the guests left and the children were asleep overlooking the lake, Grayson wrapped his arms around Charlotte from behind. "You were magnificent," he murmured. She leaned into him, watching the city lights shimmer on the water. "I didn't do it for revenge," she said. "I did it for them, so the next time someone tries to make them feel small, they'll know exactly how big their mother's love and her reach really is." And in the quiet penthouse, high above Chicago, Charlotte Whitmore Harrington finally felt the ledger balanced.